Folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt. If you're new to the channel, great to have you here. Really appreciate it if you wish to subscribe. You can also find a link to our Instagram account below. Today we're going to talk about two things, SNOWTAMs and TAFs. Firstly, TAF. What's a TAF? A TAF is a terminal area forecast. Basically the weather you can expect to find in and around any given airport. Then we'll move on to a SNOWTAM. A SNOWTAM is exactly what it says. It's a snow notice to airmen. So basically the conditions of a runway you will find in poor weather. So if you're ready to learn a little bit, let's go. So let's have a look at a typical TAF. As you can see, it says EDDF, so we know the TAF is for Frankfurt, Germany. The next line says 0311. That means the TAF was issued on the 3rd at 1100 Zulu. Following that, it gives us the time the TAF is from and to. So in this case, the 3rd at 1200 Zulu to the 4th at 1800 Zulu. Then we move on to the wind. Now today the wind is coming from 240 degrees at about 8 knots or 15 kilometers per hour or so. It then moves on to the visibility. So the visibility will be 9999. That indicates that it's greater than 10 kilometers. That's all we need. Next we move on to the cloud base. Now here it says FEW FW 040. The 040 indicating that it's 4,000 feet, and FEW indicates that the cloud is between 0 and 2 octaves or eighths obscured. We have FEW, and then we'll move on to scattered, which would be between 3 and 4, broken, which would be between 5 and 7, and finally obscured, which would be 8. So the cloud would be totally covering the sky. The next line, as you can see, says becoming, or abbreviated to becoming. Becoming means that the weather is going to change between this period and that period. The other option for this line would have been from, or FM, indicating that the weather would change within the next 1 hour. But becoming gives us a time so that we know in this particular TAF that between the times of 1800 and 2000 the wind is going to drop off to variable at 3 knots. Following on from this, again there is a change in the weather, so we get another becoming. This time becoming between 0406, so on the 4th at 6 AM Zulu time, to the 4th at 8 AM Zulu time. The wind will then pick up again, 210 degrees, 5 knots, around about 8 or 9 kilometers per hour. So the next lines you can see say prop 30 and tempo. That basically means there's a 30% probability of a temporary change in weather during this period of time. Now, as you can see from our TAF, we're talking about a tempo between 0406 and 0418. 0406 indicating that on the 4th at 0600 Zulu to the 4th at 1800 Zulu, we can expect the wind to increase to 15, gusting 25 knots, with showers of rain, SHRA indicating showers of rain. The cloud becoming CB, broken CB. If you remember, broken indicates 5 to 7 octaves of cloud, and CB indicating Charlie Bravo or cumulonimbus cloud. So the big tall clouds, hence the rain, hence the wind. After that period, we come back to becomings again, where the weather changes, the wind drops down, and it all becomes a little bit more calm again. So we can expect a period of time during the day where maybe a weather front is moving through Frankfurt, and those winds, rain, and bigger clouds will come and go, and the weather will calm down again. As you can see from this slide, not all the codes are as obvious as becoming. Some are a little more difficult to work out. However, the codes are basically split into 4 sections. And those sections are the weather identifiers. We also have weather modifiers, the things that tell you whether it is strong or light conditions. We have the sky conditions. And then we have the box that no one can think of what else to do with them, the others. So it doesn't matter whether you're going for a picnic or going for a local flight, the best weather forecasts are always your aviation weather forecasts. So next time you're going out, just Google your nearest TAF, have a look at the weather, and now you can identify it. If you're ready, let's have a look at SNOWTAMs now. So, as we move on to SNOWTAMs, we'll have a look at one for Gothenburg in Sweden, Echo Sierra Golf Golf. It was obviously from last year, during the winter when they had quite a lot of snow. The thing about a SNOWTAM is it breaks it down section by section, depending on whether it's talking about the runway, the conditions, the taxiway, the ramp, or anything else that may affect your taxi, takeoff, or landing in any given airport. And we'll look at each section bit by bit today, just to break it down and make sure we understand each one. So let's start with section alpha. Okay, so section alpha is simply the airport name in its ICAO format, the 4-digit code, Echo Sierra Golf Golf. So section B, we talk about the date, and in this particular case, we talk about the 1st of October 0110 at 3:20 in the morning, 0320, and again, that's in Zulu time. Section C talks just about the runway. So in this case, they're talking about runway 03 in Gothenburg. We move on to section F. Don't ask me why there's no section D and E, but we move on to section F. Section F talks about the runway deposits. Now in this case, we have 3 numbers, and it talks about the touchdown point, the midpoint, and the stop end of the runway. So the touchdown zone in Gothenburg today, the runway is damp. The midpoint is talking about rime ice, and the stop end is just talking about ice. As you can see from the slide, there are a number of options when it comes to runway deposits. Section G talks about the depth of the runway deposit. It's a 2-digit number and it's in millimeters. However, today in Gothenburg, because it's icy, they cannot tell you the depth of the deposit, and therefore they put the XX. So you will either see XX or you'll see a 2-digit number. Section H talks about the braking actions. As you can see from our braking actions, they are all a number above 55. And that means the braking action is good or better. As you'll see from the chart now, there are 2 ways to distinguish braking actions, either with the numbers that we have here in Gothenburg, or alternatively, you can just have the words written, good, medium, medium poor. Either way, the pilot is fully aware of how the airplane is likely to brake once he lands on the runway. The second part of H is the instrument used to measure the braking action. So in our case, Sierra Foxtrot Hotel is a surface friction tester with high pressure tyres, which is a good indication of how an airplane tyres would react, because again, they are very high pressure. As you can see from the table, there are a number of options again for this. Section November talks about the taxiways that are associated with the runways. So the taxiways for us today associated with runway 03. It talks about 4 and 7, that is dry snow and ice. And it also gives the braking action, but this time it gives it in the verbal format, so medium to poor. Section Romeo is the airport ramp, and it follows the same format as the taxiways and the runway. So again, 4 and 7, it has dry snow and ice, but here the braking action is poor, so you need to be very careful taxiing onto your stand. Section Tango is the last section, and it's basically a free text section. You can put any other information in there you feel is vital to the pilots. In this case, it talks about what is covering the runway and in how much quantity. So guys, that's it. That's all I have for SNOWTAMs and METARs. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been a little bit educational. If there's anything that you would like to see on our channel, please leave a comment below. We'll get back to you. We will try and make a video that fits in with any information you want to know. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, tell your friends. We'll see you really soon. Thanks a lot. Take care.